What's up, street dogs? Street gods. ASMR content songs. Okay, Kim in the house. Fresh cut from Cindy's. Notice you gotta. All hail the Brad Pitt Fury haircut. Shout out to my friend Bill Block and my friend Brad Pitt. EK is the new Brad Pitt. I mean, actually, some fun facts. I'm way more jacked than Brad Pitt. Roughly the same dimensions. I got a kid. I ain't estranged from my kid. Cindy is essentially my Angelina Jolie. You know, they call it Bradgelinas. Oh, check it out. Lustig open now too. It's like kind of like a nice Austrian restaurant or something. Not 100% sure about all the details, but alas, the good things about it is, it's good. It's good. So. Real men have an iPhone SE. Yeah. Okay, so the thoughts of the day. Let's see, focusing. Focus. Whenever I try to park in LA, my motto is skinny. Yeah, okay, anyways. So suit up! Okay, first thought. How does one become more masculine? How does one become more like EK? Tell you all the secrets. Tell you Matt for 20 Bitcoin Matt Black. Okay, so pain and suffering. Okay, so these are some big issues. We tend to have this foolish idea that more pain, more suffering, more toil is more virtuous, right? But pain and suffering and glorification and pain and suffering and toil and labor and work, hard work, just gotta put in the work. I'm gonna get here. Yugoslave, SLAVE. Okay, so there's this notion in Italian called sprezza zurza or something. Sprezza zurza. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I can't even pronounce that verse AC, okay? So that's when you know somebody's like a legit thinker, is that like they know all these like big ass, these like high concept words and concept like sprezza, SPRETUZER. It essentially means like studied carelessness. It's kind of like you just pop out of the house, just throw on whatever thing, and then you just kind of strut your stuff, right? And then you don't really think twice about it, and you look good, right? So, what is this? Awa D. Maybe I should observe this. What is it? January. Please RSV by January 5th, January 19th, okay. Oh, fun fact. Birthdays coming up. One was Eric Kim born. Heavyweight since 1988. Shout out to my best man, Justin's. So yeah, my birthday is January 31st, 1988. Very easy to remember. My birthday is the last day of the month. And actually, how do you know if somebody a real friend or not is if they actually remember your birthday? It's actually my best man, one of my best friends, Kevin, his birthday is March So just try to remember people's birthdays. I just put in Google Calendar as a recurring event indefinitely. Let's get. Oh wow, look at this. What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh, wow, look at it, so beautiful. Actually, a pro tip is a vlogger. Just interact with it. I need to start putting on timestamps. It's like about random ass time. Actually, the interesting notion of timestamps, right, is, I mean, timestamps could be kind of distracting, but then I guess the upside and the interest is, I watch these old videos, I'm like, oh wow, that was like 4 years ago. That's crazy. So actually what's interesting is with masculinity, manliness, blah blahs, right? What's interesting is I look at old videos of myself before I got a sexy ass haircut from Cindy. Just get a wall buzzer WAHL on Amazon's. Just clip it your size. She just cut it for me. You can do it yourself. It's actually pretty easy. I mean, things that people spend way too much money on is haircuts. I mean, like, I think the issue, or I mean, the reason why guys nowadays spend so much money on haircuts is that like everyone's fat and they have the head fat rolls. So then you want a good ass haircut to hide the fat head rolls. The best way to just look sexy is super simple. Get the wall wireless buzzer, just shave the sides, just take off your glasses. You can just freehand it, right? Just do it in the bathroom and then just vacuum, just do it over the toilet and then flush it afterwards. That's a nice picture. Good job, Vitrines team. Oh yeah, nice pictures, nice pictures. Did Christopher Anderson shoot these photos? Looks like a Chris Anderson photo from the Magnums. Hey, what's up, bros? You stay cozy, stay cozy. Yep. It's on the block. You kind of like this. Minimalism, this nice pink. Pink. Son loves pink. Here's a nice picture. Super minimalistic. Pink on pink. 20 cars, matte pink. Okay. What's the best car to drive? Matte pink Hyundai Sonata. Shout out to my friend Armando, one of the owners at the place Gardena, where he got my mom's Sonata fixed. Armando, like, I'm like, what car should I wrap the Sonata, right? My mom's old Sonata is like matte pink. Oh yeah. Apples at 877 Washington. Oh yeah. What does it mean? Look at all these LEDs. Oh yeah. 20 cars, matte black. Okay, so also a fun little activity y'all could get is, oh wow. So you don't need a glow light thingy. Just get a Apple thing in your backgrounds. Okay. Oh, and also shout out to the Shea. This nice ass hotel here. I think it's owned by the Hilton or something. Yeah, it's super nice. It's good. So yeah, trust nobody who does CrossFit, marathoner, ultra marathon. Don't truck The Rock. He's juicing his eyeballs. Actually, just watch the Baywatch trailer with Zac Efron. I think it came out in 2017. Rock is not even that jet. Like, he's got kind of like a belly fit and his legs super skinny. I'm like The Rock is like, how much can you lift, bro? How much can you deadlift? How much can you squat? How can you atlas lift, right? I'm like, am I stronger than The Rock? I'm like, I can lift 1,000 pounds. Can The Rock do that? Probably not. And actually, in fact, I don't know. No non-steroiders who could lift as much weight as me. What's the world record for the deadlift? What? 500 kilograms. Maybe I need to do that. 500. Okay, this is gonna be my new goal, guys. Super simple. You know, Hafthor, he deadlifted 501 kilograms. Was that 1,200 pounds? My goal is I'm gonna Atlas lift 502 kilograms just to see what's up. And also on Amazon's, I got not Amazon, just a random website. I just Googled it. I got this like 3M matte black vinyl wrap for the car. Actually, surprisingly, I just cut off a piece and I put in front of my Lumix G9 just to cover up the emblem. It actually really works well on cameras too, so I guess you could matte black wrap a camera. It's another another use case people don't talk about. So maybe I should start doing that. Just give me your Rika, a matte black rapid, a matte pink white rapid. Actually, not a super terrible idea, right? People wrapping their car, yeah, wrap your camera. I think better to wrap your camera than buy a new one. Yeah, not a bad idea. And actually, the funny thing too is talking about preferences. Essentially, every photographer, sooner or later, street photographer, whatever, will aspire to get some sort of Leica, like whether it be a film Leica, an M6, an MP, mechanical perfection. That's MP stands for. Facts. Black paint. 35 Summicron is probably the best lens. Shout out to my friends Bellamy Hunt and Charlie Kirk's internal gratitudes. Even Thomas Leutard, 85mm.ch. Yeah, it's kind of really enjoy these morning walks because like you just feel so zen and Zeneca's. Yeah. I need to figure out who owns this park. It's like so nice. Every time I go on this walk, it brings great joy and delight. And actually, this is something that people don't understand, right? So the goal of life is to be out in this, right? It ain't to be like stuck in your apartment, your house, your mansion, your skyscraper thingy, right? Condo. So actually, yeah, and actually the rooftop bar, you just jump into the elevator, go up there real quick. Actually, the funny thing is, one thing I learned from the street photographer David Gibson is like, when you walking around, look down and look up. People never look up, right? It often is funny. There's people up there is like be looking down at people's. You look up and then you see them looking at you, and then you just wave at them, right? So that's a good idea. Good ideas. Yeah, I know. I like LA. I think I even own Urkim.LA now. EK. So the reason why LA is so good is, I mean, like my mom sent me pictures in Seoul in Korea. It's it's like effing snowing. And, I mean, like snow's alright, right? Providence, Rhode Island, there's snow and shit, right? But yeah, I think yeah, still being here. I mean, like LA could get pretty cold at night, but I don't know. I still think it's a nice freedoms to just be good morning, just be able to walk around, do these morning strolls and walks. Oh, so if you're curious about the EK lifestyles. Lately, we've been going super early, kind of wind down around like 8 p.m. Usually hit the sack around 9 p.m.s. And I just like naturalistically, I just been waking up at like 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. If I sleep in 5 a.m., I guess. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Wish this upon my worst enemy, but I mean, I think I feel fine. I wake up, have my coffees, or Omakase Cafe, 100% fine Robustas. Just Google it. Yeah, do some think at the house that it is, right? And the secret is ice cold showers. And then try to take insanely hot, boiling hot showers. So like super cold, then super effing boiling hot, then super cold, and just alternate it a few times, then pop out. It's a good way to get your metabolisms going. And if your house apartment has a heater, it's cold, just fucking crank up the heat, just put it to max, put it to 90 degrees, put it to 120 degrees. And once you start getting hot and sweaty, then turn that shit off, and then just go on a walk. Similarly speaking, certain things I discovered more recently, which I wish I knew earlier, was, especially when it's like kind of cold and frigid, your body's not feeling too good, right? Just take a cold shower and then start, hopefully you have a tub. If you don't have a tub, just do a really, really hot shower. And then just do an insanely hot bath. So everyone's talking about Jack Dorsey and everyone, right? They're talking about, oh yes, so nice. Love this building. Your great architecture puts me in a good mood too. Right? So anyways, taking an insanely hot bath is actually very refreshing because like it soaks into your bones. And you just vibe on it. And then the secret is, when you like insanely hot bath, you want it to be to the point where your body's almost scalding. Like you're actually in physical pain, but like you're not permanently injuring yourself. So it's almost the exact opposite of cold training. Like, people talk about cold training, nobody talk about hot training. And I guess that's where it's interesting to do like a hot yoga, hot 8 or something like that, right? Apparently at hot 8 they crank up the thermostat to like 120 degrees with humidities. And some people critique it. I mean, I've done a few. I like it. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, my only criticism is that, like, I just want to pop in, do my thing, and just beast out. It's like, I have to stay here for an hour. It's like, I really don't think any sort of fitness workout class, you don't really need to be more than like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. What, the F45 or something? They do 40. I'm like, that's too much time. It's like, do you remember the things like 10-minute abs and 7-minute abs, 5-minute abs? I'm like 30-second abs. The easiest way to get a six-pack, 100% carnivore diet, intermittent fasting, cut out all the BS. No sugar, no starches, no Coke Zero. Yeah, Splenda makes you fat. People don't like to think about that. And essentially, the secret and the name of the game is, 100% carnivore diet, one insanely huge dinner at night, no breakfast, no lunch. Get your testosterone up. So, continuing our thoughts. So pain and is not virtuous, right? So, I think so. Then the question is, why do people make this silly assumption and this silly line of thinking that more pain is? I mean, I think it's this weird like Christian, Judeo something thing where it's like pain and suffering and glory is a good thing. Things to think about. I mean, honestly, and this is me critically thinking, right? You know, Christianity, which is essentially Judaism 2.0. Judaism, the religion started by the Moses. Essentially, Judaism, Judea. I think the best way to think about something I need to figure out, right? Like, people call it Jewish or Jew. What does Jewish or Jew have to do with Jewish or Jew have to deal with Judea? Judea was the kingdom state, citadel place. But anyways, it was founded by Moses, right? And even like an Israeli scholar, I forget his name. Israel something, right? Was like, so take a step back, right? So Tacitus on the Jews is probably the best thing we could read in regards to the critical historical understanding of the Jewish peoples, right? So different theories about who they was, right? I mean, as of now, my current interesting thought is essentially people don't realize and they don't think, right? Moses, so think Moses, right? Moses, the guy who parted the Red Sea, right? So Moses, one of the theories is, I mean, from the same Israeli scholar, right? And he's Jewish, right? So it's cool. Is that like something about like Moses was like an illegitimate son of like one of the Egyptian pharaohs or something, and as a consequence, and then Moses tried to gain power and try to overthrow the pharaoh, and then like he kind of failed, so he was kind of kicked out. So he took a bunch of his homeboys and the peoples to follow him, because he said the men and the gods have forsaken me, and find the promised land, right? So yeah, and then he instituted a religion. Well, you understand, right? So then the Jewish people, his ancestors, whatevs, could exist into perpetuity, right? And certain things which Tacitus finds interesting. So this is where studying history is so good, because like it's like just go back enough in history, people don't care about being like woke, politically correct, all this nonsense, right? So even like Tacitus was like, so I guess the Romans, ancient Spartans, etc. Like if your kid was like sick or misshapely, whatever, they would just hurl your kid over the cliff. And then even some of the ancient thinkers were things like, isn't it more cruel to let the kid live if they come out like, what we nowadays consider like what, kind of like mental, physiological you know, mishaps or whatevs, right? When some things are a bit off, right? But then apparently Jewish people didn't do that because they want to increase their numbers, etc., right? And so a lot of the you know, Jewish traditions, etc., was essentially founded based on premises of Egyptian thought, like the afterlife, etc. There's apparently a good exhibition at the Getty or the LACMA, one of those, about this. Need to do some research, eh? Couldn't afford a car, so named her daughter Alexis, right? So, but anyways, studying the ancient Roman. So, once again, let's think back to ancient Greek, the Iliad. So, in ancient Greece, Iliad it is, the gods were essentially like humans, fallible humans, except they lived longer and they didn't have to eat food, they just drink ambrosia, right? And what I kind of like about the ancient Greeks, right, Romans, etc., is essentially the ancient Greeks, they created their own gods in the images of man, right? So like Zeus is just kind of sleeping around, kind of like always like having drama with Hera, his wife, the queens, right? And then like all the like these like, you know, rambunctious kids essentially just kind of causing havoc and just meddling in the affairs of humans, right? And yeah, and then also the gods sleep, Zeus goes to sleep, and maybe then what becomes weird is like kind of monotheism, like just one ever omnipotent God who nobody really know what he looked like and he's always watching you, right? And even super interesting is what the ancient Romans, like, you know, the Tacitus and people who conquered them, right? They were confused because they're like, wait, you don't create statues of your gods, you don't even know what your gods or God looks like, right? So then finally when they conquered the citadel of Judea, they open up the coffers in the citadel and they're like, wait, there's no statues, there's no nothing in here, they're just like confused, right? And so the ancient Romans were just like very confused. They're like, who are these, like the people of Judea, the Jewish people, the Jews, of like, they're like, this is like contrary to everything that we Romans believe in, right? Like even Romans, technically, they was very you know, open-minded, liberal. You know, they were technically the original woke people, right? Like the Romans were like, well, I don't get it. You know, we conquered you, but then we'll give you protection. You know, you could borrow our gods. Your bards could, you know, we could share gods. Like you could, you know, like just do it. Just pay your taxes and we good, right? And so think about ancient Rome, the Holy Roman Empire. Seems like a good idea. But anyways, so taking it back to America. So what does America want? I mean, certainly to continue her dominance on the planet. I mean, whether people like her or not, right? America, we conquer the planet by, you know, 100,000x that of anyone else. Like, no, not Russia. Russia's weak. Putin is I don't know how tall Putin is, right? So does Putin even lift weights? Yeah, Putin's he's a wimp. Mainland China is like mainland China, right? Like, I think. Funny thought, right? So you know, China, mainland China, they're trying to create like, I don't know, cyber warfare or something like that, right? And I'm like, do the Chinese even make their own computers? Like what? Xiaomi, Huawei, like. Can you imagine like mainland China going to a cyber war with America and then they just use like Windows 95, right? So as long as America has intelligence, cyber intelligence, the computers, well, America's fine, right? Like, and actually like I was brainwashed a lot as a kid thinking the military was evil, blah, blahs. But like, truth be told, the military is what runs the planet. He or she with the biggest stick shall win. The war, you know, even like Galliani says, "Della moneta" on monies, he said that the wars are won by iron, not gold. And even ancient places like Holland, right, the Dutch Amsterdam, right, Venice, they hired foreign mercenaries. Mercenary comes from mercs, M-E-R-X, like a merchant. So people who trade their lives for money, mercenaries. Yeah, because the richer you are, you would rather part of some of your money than to die, right? And then typically it's poor people. That's why, like, typically in the American military, right, like the really front lines, what, Marines and stuff, right? People sent to Afghanistan typically come from like marginalized, like Latino, Cambodian peoples. To know whether somebody's a real patriot or not is if they've done some sort of military service or, you know, Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, like any of this stuff, right? And so then the reason why we shouldn't poo-poo on Jewish people is there's a lot of Jewish people in the military, based on, you know, real life people that I know. There's actually a lot of military recruiters who are Jewish American, born in the States, right? But then the tricky thing is they have to be kind of like closet Jewish because America is ultimately anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. I think, was it Nietzsche who said the Christians still haven't forgiven the Jewish people for killing Jesus, right? And yeah, it's true. Jesus was Jewish. He wasn't trying to start a new religion, right? He was like the OG, kind of flipping everything on its belly. Even modern day Christianity as we know it, you know, just read the Antichrist by Nietzsche, should be considered Saint Paulism. And yeah, Saint Paul was kind of a tormented soul. So yeah, don't trust none of that. Anyways, and also went to the Skirball exhibit. I think, what's the name of the Mr. Skirball? Skirball's like, he was like a movie, Jewish American movie producer from like 100 years ago. Produced the thing, create Jewish culture. It's a great Noah's Ark exhibit. We done seen it with Sen. He loved it. And yeah, so I think one of the critical things about, you know, Jewish American people is whatever, right? Is that that'll be $2, please. All right, cool. So yeah, I think like, you know, think about Ellis Island and stuff like that, right? So why do Americans or why do people hate Jewish people, right? It's like, don't hate Jewish people because they're smarter, wiser, more intelligent than you are. So the reason why Jewish people are so great, well, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Michael Hackman, for creating such a beautiful place. Actually, in fact, people this, I'm like, is it possible? Like, I'm anti-Semitic. I'm finna make a shirt, anti-Semitic club, right? Anyone who's anti-Semitic, use a pussy. Only pussies are anti-Semitic. Just to quote Michael Bay. This is ChatGPT Michael Bay quotes. So it's anyone who changes their style to please their audience are a bunch of pussies. I'm gonna start talking like a high school again. F it. This is why EK is still so popular with the high schoolers, because I stopped at age 16, like Eminem, aging in reverse, right? And yeah, actually, even at 35, my testosterone, everything is like, I'm better at 35 than I was 25. The best version of myself was still probably my like 16, 17-year-old self, before I got corrupted by the systems. So time to get back to where I started, right? So I bought every V12 engine, time to take it back to the beginning, right? Freestyle thinking, right? So the one of the benefits, but anyways, they're talking about more about, right? So think about it, like the reason why Jewish people are so resilient, right? It's like you try to kill them, you can't kill them all, right? The ultimate anti-fragile race is even like Nietzsche, right? Like Nietzsche was like very pro-Jewish people. Like he looked at Jewish people Nietzsche was actually critical of anti-Semitic because apparently Richard Wagner, the composer, was like super anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. And I think the reason why anti-Semitic is a good notion is if Nietzsche mentions it, posted on the door of an anti-Semite, right? Then it's probably a good notion. So even in Nietzsche's time, like he wrote this like 300 years ago, people would still hate on Jewish people for controlling finance and stuff like that, right? But it's because Jewish people were like a marginalized peoples in a race, and all they could do was to do finances because that was the only legit way to survive, right? Or become medical doctors and stuff like that, right? So then a lot of people's super salty about this. Oh wow, look, this place makes some good progress. Nice, right? So a lot of people salty about it because Jewish people are so good with money, right? Like Kanye says, like, white people make money, don't spend it. I'd rather buy 80 gold chains to go ignorant. No, I'm gonna let you finish, right? So what Jewish people are really good at is being very critical of money, and they don't just waste it, right? Like even like one of my old students who did my workshop in downtown LA, right? Living in Beverly Hills, pulled up, and like he's from Beverly Hills, right? So obviously he's got dinero, right? And he just pulls up like in just like a super base, the Olympic pen, right? Olympus pen. And I'm like, I was so shocked because I'm like, super rich. He's like, why don't you pull up in the, at the time of Leica M9, right? That was the it camera. Leica no more. Real men shoot with Ricoh GR3 3Xs, or more recently, came in the Lumix G9. G9 Mark II is apparently out. And pancakes all the way. Flapjacks, called the IHOP camera lenses. The Lumix f2.5 14mm spherical 30 lens, the pancake lens, only like $200 on Amazon. Oh, and also is like, should you buy lenses and stuff on B&H or Amazon? Just buy it on Amazon. It's just way easier. And also advice is like, it's like God bless B&H. I think they're owned by Jewish people. I think they've been around forever. Anyways, so yeah, people hate on rich people and Jewish people because they so good with money, right? And it looks like the ethos of a lot of Jewish people and stuff like that, right, is like you want to keep indefinitely increasing your money, your wealth, and just you kind of want to keep making that number go up and up and up indefinitely. And as a consequence, make money, don't spend it, right? And then I think Jewish people are really good at preserving their wealth and then passing on to the next generations. So even seeing the exhibit is quite interesting. It's talking about intergenerational wealth, right? So I mean, honestly, I should be pretty grateful and fortunate that like even Cindy's family comes from gold merchants. My grandfather, mom's side, super famous. Doctor, calligrapher. I think he met the president a few times. Even my one of my imo harabujis, like my uncle, my in-law grandfathers, he was like secretary at the Blue House. Blue House is like the White. So he was essentially the politics, right? So the Kim Jins run strong. And then on my dad's side, right? Apparently my dad's dad, aka my grandfather on my dad's side, right? He was like a very, very successful merchant. I think he sold like, but then, I don't know the whole story, right? But like, sold alcohol kind of illegitimately. But anyways, he made a bunch of money. He had a car, mom and dad, right? And then he even, I still have the stainless steel Rolex that my grandpa bought. Can you imagine? There's a post-war Korea, everyone like super porn shit, right? And then like that watch cost more than a house or a car, right? And how much is that watch worth now? I don't know, as a family heirloom, finna pass it down to San and stuff like that, right? Anyway, so much wealth is passed down from generation to generation. And I think the intelligence of a Jay-Z, right, is like legacy, right? Is that you didn't start with anything. You start from the bottom, You start from the mud. Came from the mud. First put a hood on Jet. First put a hood on Molly. Okay. And then so essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to build up wealth and pass it on to your progeny, and your progeny finna pass on to their progeny. So anybody who don't want to have a kid, I guess they don't really care about their legacy. I mean, that's cool. I mean, like, you don't force people to have no kids. But then if you really want maximum happiness and power in the world, you just like have kids, because once your genetics die, you're dead forever, right? Or like to quote Nietzsche, right? Libri aut libri. It's like either your children or books. He was quoting about women's. But yeah, I don't know. I think philosophers, all philosophers should have at least one kid, because then you start to learn about, philosophies of knowledge, wisdom, learning, etc. I find all of this very, very interesting. Yeah, pretty good. So, man, I'm like so two minds about JP Morgan Chase. Is fucking gangster and take fucking forever. But at the same time, it's kind of. So, JP Morgan Chase, these motherfuckers, right? I mean, like, I'm still a little salty, but fuck it. Chase is good because, it's kind of like, it's by far the best international banking institution, etc.'s, Visa, whatevs. But fucking dysfunction. I don't know. Maybe the future is Chase needs to get into crypto, tokenization, these kind of assets, whatevs, and make things better. Also, the good thing about Chase is they got like 1 trillion ATMs everywhere, so you always have access to money. Anyways, so even think about money, right? What is money good for? Super, super simple. Paying rent, buying meat at Costco groceries. And then after that, the question then is, what is the point of wealth? Stay clear from the 5150s, the crazy peoples. Yeah, don't trust the crazies. Can't pronounce nothing. Pass out for Stacey. Okay, so continue the thoughts. How do I get to LA Fitness from here? Maybe I'll not go. Also the funny thoughts. I guess also an interesting social economical thoughts about creating your own gym, your own off the grid gyms in your own parking lot, garage, homes, whatevs, is maybe less likelihood of getting sick from all these other random people at the gym. Actually, the funny thing too is with the gym, the word gymnos, it means naked, topless, like the generalized. I'll start my own bank. Fuck it, I'm finna start my own bank. If you want to become a Bitcoin billionaires, shoot me an email at eric@erickim.com. I'm thinking about starting a fund. I call it Black Eagle, kind of like BlackRock or Blackstone, or why are all these things black? 20 cars, matte black, right? So Black Eagle. So I'm a Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts. Eagles are good. Eagles represent America. It's kind of the reason why good morning. So the reason why I like this idea is it's like even Nietzsche's talking about, right? Do you want to be the lamb or the eagle, right? People always say sheep was not a sheep. Don't be a lamb. Right? Like people shouldn't be like, don't be a pussy, don't be a lamb. So the average person, human being in society, they're a bunch of lambs, right? Well, that's actually interesting. They call it Lamborghinis or lambs, delicious little Lamborghini lambs, right? So would you rather be the eagle or the lamb? The lambs are always complaining, oh, these eagles are always trying to do it, right? And then the eagles are like, lambs are delicious. They're so tasty, right? It actually is so funny too, because in terms of the hierarchies, right? Certainly ain't nobody supposed to naturalistically be eating nothing, right? Like people's like, oh, humans are meant to eat X, Y, and Z, and not. I'm like, It's like, we ain't meant to drink coffee. I mean, like, just fucking poison, right? You're not supposed to be drinking fucking alkaline water. Anyone who drinks alkaline water, and like, you guys are you guys are non-critical thinkers. People are so sick, right? Trust nobody who don't have a full body tan. Why is that Venice so ghetto? Anyways, walking off the grid, thinking off the grid. We off the grid for my kids, right? So yeah, Culver City's Betters got on 90232 zip codes, right? So yeah, so I'm thinking about starting like a crypto hedge fund. It's going to be centered around like Bitcoin, Chainlink. I'm still trying to do more research about other good investments. I mean, like Ethereum maybe, but still like, I don't know, Ethereum is kind of... The reason why I kind of don't really like Ethereum too much is that I think the problem with Ethereum is trying to do too many things. And then because they done made it Ethereum, the version 2 and the splitting the fork, and it's just too complicated. Anything that's too complicated is bad, right? So the reason why I'm still super lit about the Bitcoins, right? Bitcoin got the big bucks, right? No money, no honey, right? Yeah, actually it's so, man, like, it's so funny. It's like the Vietnam War, right? All these Vietnamese women, they're so smart, right? Like, they be trying to sell wares to the American foreigner men, right? Then it's like, buy my stuff, and then the American men are like, no, we can't buy your stuff. And then the Vietnamese Asian women be like, no money, no honey. And then the guys feel emasculated, I buy, right? Super smart. So yeah, the first thought about becoming super rich is essentially your body is your bank account. If you got a six-pack, full body tan, super jacked, EK demigod status, physiques, the Achilles warrior technique, then use golden, right? And actually, the funny thing with being fat, obese, right? Whatever people say it's overweight, just call spade a spade. Like, you fat, you over fat. And is fat a binary? No, it's certainly degrees, right? Like, you could be like kind of a little bit fat, right? So I mean, simple thoughts. I mean, the first one is like base level, everyone sick, men, women included. Only fit. Who's fit? I don't know nobody who fit. It's like, don't trust none of these like tech losers who do CrossFit. I mean, like, just like a great. Okay, you always got to start at the source. This morning, you always got to start at the source. So, look at the founder of wash your car. Hanudi's name for the wash your car is Dada. Actually, people, I don't know. JP Morgan Chase, I don't know, nice brutals. Okay, so yeah, time for me to start my own banks, okay? Prices go up and down, right? So, men with big balls get into Bitcoin. Big balls, big coins, right? Yeah, my life aspiration is I want to hoard at least 100 Bitcoins, 1,000 Bitcoins, 10,000, 1 billion Bitcoins, right? And it's like, what is 1 Bitcoin worth? 1 Bitcoin is worth 1 Bitcoin. I also think that, I mean, okay, these are just some pragmatic thoughts, right? So I think in the future, right, especially that fiat currency is not a good source of the wealth management. So I would not be surprised if 20, 30 years down the line, you know, you could use 2 or 3, like, okay, so this is my mental pegging, right? I think 1 Bitcoin is worth at least $1 million USD as if this time, right? And so, you know, people selling houses for $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, whatever, $10 million. I wouldn't be surprised there would be a future you could buy a house for 1 Bitcoin, You could buy a nicer house for 2 Bitcoin. You could buy a really, really nice for 3 Bitcoin. Buy a super, super nice house for 10 Bitcoin. You buy a crazy mansion for 150 Bitcoin, etc., etc. So, I mean, still at the end of the day, at least in America's, probably the greatest source of wealth is probably land, like land ownership. Yeah, you want to own the land. Yeah, sounds about right. Like even Cindy's mom, who's done real estate a long time, right? You want to buy a house? Oh, yeah, maybe I should put my mom on film. Like, if you want to buy a house in Orange County, SoCal, Westminster, Garden Grove, etc., contact Cindy's mom, kimpham@gmail.com. That is KIMPHAM. Kim Pham, KIMPHAM, real estate, REALESTAT @gmail.com. But anyways, so Cindy's mom's pretty wise. I think the wisdom of Cindy's mom is that she knows it, that like certain things not to do. Don't buy a condo. You don't own the land. And technically the house could be built for super, like if you build an additional dwelling unit, ADU, you could build it from scratch and it's like $250,000, right? Which is like relatively cheap, I guess, from the studs up. But the most important thing is you got to own the land to build it on. I mean, honestly, it's all still kind of a scam because you still got to pay property taxes, etc. Right? But I mean, eventually, someone needs. You need a place to live, I guess, right? Yeah, whatevs, right? But I mean, certain things I'm also fortunate about. Also, the good thing about getting married is technically you become wealthier because you have access to 2 sides of the family. So even certain things that I'm very fortunate for is Cindy's mom, in fact, they own real estate, they own their own property, right? So still at the end of the day, traveling abroad and taxes and stuff like that, we still have this permanent home address that we could always send shit to, right? So yeah, #grateful. And actually, my ultimate takeaway about family drama, blah, blah, is with greater benefits comes greater annoyances, right? So having more family is like, it's going to cause more drama, but also with that comes more benefits. So if you want more benefits, maybe having more drama and annoyances is it's just part of the game. F and say love you, right? So thinking about all this, then the thought is, I'll buy property, whatever. I don't know, still at the end of the day though, it's like people focusing so much about becoming wealthier, becoming rich, successful, blah, blah, right? But that's really not the goal here. I think, ain't nobody finna care. Like, think about it this way. Alexander the Great, name that's gonna forever be remembered in time. The philosophers, the Stoics, right? Their names are finna gonna be remembered for the rest of times. Achilles. It's like Homer. My personal prediction too is that, everyone thinks of Homer as being the idiot from The Simpsons, but I think 2,000-3,000 years from now, when ain't nobody watch or know what The Simpsons ain't no more, the name Homer is gonna come back in vogue. Like, next time somebody asks my name, I'm gonna say my name is Homer. But everyone always think about Homer as the idiot, right? Or my name is Bart. My name is Calvin Hobbes, right? It's like, my name is Ash Ketchum. My name is Gyarados. My name is Magikarp. My name is Charmander, Pikachu. Actually, my favorite, so actually another thing you should always ask a millennial, it's like, who's your favorite Pokemon? It's like, I'm 35. It's cool. It's like, I watched Pokemon as a kid growing up. Kids now are watching Pokemon. Like, that's great. God bless the Japanese, right? So, yeah, the secret was you wanted the Magikarp to become a Gyarados, and once it became a Gyarados, I was super happy about that. Shout out from Ryan from Backyard Brew, Palo Alto. People don't know this, but I'm pretty certain that, in fact, it was actually Ryan from Backyard Brew, who I think invented the notion of MVP, minimum viable product. and I'm sure that there was some like loser tech person who just stole his idea and popularized it, right? Yeah. Anyways, super facts. Right? Oh yeah. Also, you don't want to be Jeff Bezos, who's only 5'7". You don't want to be Ye, who's what, 5'5". You want to be Kendrick, who's like 5'2". Who's tall? Jay-Z 6'2". I mean, good to be a Jay-Z. I'd rather be a and then Jay-Z just need to lift some weights and need to hit the legs like, I skip leg day, I still run the world. Kind of a funny thought. Great. Well, continue my walks. Another thing that's interesting to think about is everyone's trying to become a more productive thinker. You don't self-flagellate yourself into productive thinking. First, just go on a walk, and then the thoughts will come naturally. And this is where I really like kind of this street vlogging notion is that, you know, even though I do voice dictation on my iPad Pros, the cadence of your thoughts and then your tone, your intonation, etc. It's much more natural when you're doing it via your voice rather than typing it. In fact, I think almost all modern academic scholars, people, right? Just look at them in the flesh, right? It's like, when's the last time you've been to the beach, bro? When's the last time you took off your shirt? Good morning. And the thing is, I don't trust no people's, like, okay, I was even doing research about, there's like a new brand, I think it's been around for a minute, 10,000.cc, it's like a clothing brand, makes some pretty cool workout clothes, right? And I was like, who's the founders? And look at the founders, it's like neither. It's like, do you guys even lift weights, right? And then trust nobody who's a triathlon. Anyways, so I'm like looking at these founders, right, who never look like they lifted weights in their lives, right? And I just think to myself, it's like, why would you? Like, why would you buy fitness apparel or workout clothes from a company that was founded by dudes who don't even lift weights? It kind of makes no sense. So always look at the founders, go on a Google image of what the founders look like, and then try to find photos of them topless. So will you ever find a photo of Greg Glassman topless working out? No, because why? He's never lifted a weight in his life. So unless you've ever seen 7 plates, 8 plates, 9 plates, 10 plates, 10 plates, 10.5 on each side, you don't got nothing to say. Yeah, don't trust nobody's. I can't even pronounce Passa Versace. Yeah, weather's like insanely warm too. I fucking love it. Oh, also a fun fact about the Culver Studios, owned by Mr. Michael Hackman. Apparently, Gone with the Wind was actually filmed here, right? Yeah. Culver Studios. People don't know this, but yeah, Amazon Prime. It is right. God bless the heart of Jeff Bezos. Man, I'm like, everyone you be hating on Jeff Bezos, it's like, don't get at me. It's like, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have ever bought anything on Amazon, like, you have no right to critique the great Jeff. Actually, Jeff Bezos is super underrated because when he was an innovator and entrepreneur, he's the one who straight up went to the store in his Honda Accord, dropped me off packages and shit, right? And anyways, the Culver Studios, Amazon Prime Video taking over, Heart of Screenland. Even there's like a new Mr. and Mr. Smithwood, Daniel Glover and the other guys. Yeah, it's gonna be a good future here in Culver.